Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, April 23rd, 2021. Folks, we've had a pretty large sunspot explode, and it is directly Earth-facing. We're looking at a view right now of this sunspot, and it was quoted in Space Weather News as being a shock wave. Also, it's referred to as a solar tsunami. We're looking at a negative version of this sunspot right now. The sun seems to be, gradually getting more active with these sunspots as we are supposedly coming out of this solar minimum and moving into this solar maximum. So we'll see what happens, over the next 6 months to a year. But, from my perspective, I've been watching the sun every day for many, many years. And I remember when we were going into this solar minimum, but it just seems like the sun really never went to sleep, because the solar activity has stayed consistent. My personal opinion is that the activity on the sun definitely correlates with the 28-day orbit of this Planet X stellar core object. Now, speaking of that, during these recent coronal mass ejections on the 17th, and I believe the 21st, 22nd, I was able to capture some very significant photographs once again, and we will see those later on in this video. But I wanted to go ahead and show all of you the current update for this sunspot that has exploded, and it is directly Earth-facing. The Earth will take an impact from this solar energy on or about the 25th, so in approximately 2 days. Now we're going to take a look at the coronal mass ejection indicator, and this is a model that shows us the direction of this coronal mass ejection. The CME tracker, I'm going to bring it up right now, and it's quite impressive. Now here on our screen we see the CME tracker, and a lot of you have seen this before. I use this model quite often. Here we have Earth, which is signified by this yellow circle. We have the sun in the middle. You have the menu or the legend up above, which signifies what these square objects and round objects, what they represent, satellites and planets. You can see the coronal mass ejection, and that was that sunspot exploding and releasing its energy, and it was directly facing the Earth. Now, the Earth sits slightly below the sun's equatorial region, or the middle of the sun. So we'll see what happens on the 25th of this month, which is, in a couple of days. We may see, well, let me rephrase that. We will definitely see an uptick in earthquake activity, and I also believe that we will see an uptick in volcanic activity. But you can see that the direction of that energy is headed straight for the Earth. Now, this CME tracker model may update in about 24 hours, and we may see the impact of this energy change ever so slightly. It may be directed towards the Earth in a little bit more of a positive way. Maybe I should say negative way. But as you see it pass by, you could see it's kind of at a kind of moves at an angle, kind of downward, and that is due to the rotation of the sun. So the CME tracker model may update, and we may see, if you follow my cursor right here, we may see that high energy level, which is directly in the middle. It's the pink area right there that you see. It may or may not be more centralized or centered directly at the Earth. Now, you may think that may not make that much of a difference, but let me tell you, it will make all of the difference, because that will be more of a bullseye, and the target and that bullseye will be the Earth. Now we're going to take a look at what they're saying about all of this on Space Weather News. Okay, now I flipped this over to spaceweather.com for this geomagnetic storm warning, and I'll just go ahead and read it for you. We're going to be starting right here. And it states that NOAA forecasters say that the G2 class geomagnetic storms are possible on April 25th, when a coronal mass ejection, CME, is expected to hit Earth's magnetic field. The CME was hurled in our direction yesterday by a C3 8 class solar flare from sunspot AR 2816. Now, that's what I was just showing you previously when we started the video. If the geomagnetic storm occurs as predicted, auroras could dip into the northern tier of the United States from Maine to Washington. So if any of you guys live up there, either in Canada or along the Canadian-U.S. border, step outside in the evening around April 25th, and you may get yourself a beautiful aurora show. Now, the solar tsunami, and CME as they call it, the solar tsunami, it states that Earth-facing sunspot AR 2816 exploded on April 22nd at 0435, 4:35 UTC time, producing a C3 8 class solar flare. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded a dramatic shock wave ripping away from the blast site. Now, I have an ultra-high definition computer monitor, and I was checking this out on my high definition monitor, and it's quite impressive. Now, I'm not sure, if you guys are able to actually see that ripple effect move across the sun's corona, the surface of the sun, if you want to call it, the sun's atmosphere. But it was pretty impressive. And, look, folks, this has happened, well, all the time in Earth's history. But during a solar minimum, what is creating all of these disturbances on the sun during this solar minimum? Okay, that is the question that I've been proposing since this solar minimum began. And it's almost like it has not even been a solar minimum. Why do I say that? Very simply, because of all of the coronal mass ejections over the course of these years that have passed. I've recorded every single one of them, and I would say probably close to 75, maybe even 85% of those coronal mass ejections have produced proof positive images of this Planet X stellar core and a few of the other stellar core objects that have accompanied this main object. It's like it's a complete system. So we'll see what occurs, but this is something that during our lifetime we're going to have to deal with consistently. Will it affect our lives? Maybe not me, maybe not you. But for other people in different areas on this planet that are prone to volcanic activity and earthquake activity, well, it is going to affect them. Because this solar energy directly facing the Earth, direct impacts. Once these heavily charged particles penetrate the Earth's crust, therefore disturbing all of the earthquake zones, the volcanic zones on this planet, we are going to see damage. There is no doubt about it. I've talked about it for years. We have watched it happen. So now we're going to go ahead and move over to the photographs that I've captured and our newest programs have rendered, and they're quite impressive. So check this out. Well, there you have it, folks. Those were some amazing photo captures over the last couple of days. Once again, these coronal mass ejections revealing Planet X, as we call it, stellar cores. Call it whatever you want, folks. You can call it Nibiru, you can call it Nemesis, you can call it the Destroyer. The fact of the matter is that our solar system has been infiltrated by another, let's just call it a stellar core system. And it is directly affecting our planet and our sun. I wanted to also give all of you a quick update on Dr. Albers. She just finished up another chelation therapy. This one was, how can I say, quite effective as far as the levels of mercury being removed from her bloodstream. And we got the test results back, and the levels are decreasing substantially after each one of these therapy appointments. Now, the doctor recommended, because this time it made her very, very sick. The recovery time, it's usually 4 to 5 days. This time it took double. And, she was bedridden for almost 5 straight days. But, the color of her skin is getting better, and her hair is, filling back in, and the extreme fatigue is kind of, diminishing somewhat. When I asked the doctor how many more of these appointments is she going to have to go through, he said possibly 3, maybe 4. It all depends. Because after each and every one of these chelation appointments, they do extensive blood work and also, urine analysis. And these tests, that's what's killing me, financially, along with these appointments. And I'm doing the best I can. I wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of the people, all of you who have donated and contributed to Dr. Albers' medical fund. I'm going to be dead honest, ladies and gentlemen. Without your participation, I don't know what I would have done. I really don't. I think about it every day. And I thank God for people like all of you out there that have helped both of us. It has been a blessing, and I really appreciate it. I really, really do. So, I'm not able to get back in touch with each and every one of you by email, because I really haven't been answering a lot of emails lately because my time is just so limited over the course of this last year. But please accept my thank yous, my admiration for each and every one of you that have helped. It has been truly a blessing. And we do have, several more months to go. And if any of you do want to continue to contribute and donate to Dr. Albers' medical fund, you can do so by using the PayPal link in the description box under this video. And if you cannot, that is no problem. Just keep Dr. Albers in your thoughts and your prayers. That will be good enough. Once again, folks, thank you very much. Stay tuned to Planet X News.